All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and I'll be your host here today. I lead the and welcome to the trader education here at Bookmap, we're bringing you quite a few interesting new streams on Bookmap. You might want to go and check out the I'll show you where the educational calendar is on bookmap.com. If you go to bookmap.com and you go to education here, and then the education button here, okay, go to that. You'll scroll down in here. You'll see this is kind of an onboarding, visual, video, and resource here, so that you can learn about Bookmap and get started here. Then the educational calendar is here, so you can see that we're just starting right now with the advanced webinar at 10 a.m. Eastern, and you can see we have Tom B after that, and then options with Doug after that, and then during the entire day here as well we have the Algo Boys with their levels, going over the proprietary kind of algorithmic levels, but it's not education in the sense that they're not in there talking. They are going over their levels, and then order flow around their levels is what they're displaying. Anyway, let's continue on here. So I'll be doing live analysis like every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday based off our educational course. And then tomorrow, Jay Trader, he'll be trading live stocks, and then Scott Pulsini live trading for futures on Thursday. Risk disclosure. General disclosure is all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. And past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So let's jump in here and see what's going on. And we're looking at the S&P E-mini. And actually, there's another housekeeping thing I want to go over with you guys here from bookmap.com. If you go to this blue jacket, let me show you. I'll put this link into the chat for you guys. This is a program we're doing right now. It's a competition, win the blue jacket here, become the Bookmap trader, and be celebrated in the community here. Yeah, the blue jacket, you get that. It'll be I don't think it's physical. It's actually just virtual, but it will be displayed within Bookmap Discord, so you'll get that status, and your content. Basically what you're going to be doing is creating content. Anything that you find interesting. Maybe it's your trading activity, maybe it's a certain level in here. Check out the Bookmap Insights right here, and you will be featured there as well. Okay, so you can see Doug P, Dove, here's Dove again, and we have David here, we have Jay Trader here. So there's a lot of different traders up there, Trader HE, that are displaying, or we think their content is worthy, so we're putting it up here so that you can learn from it. You'll be featured here as well. All right, so that's part of the gig here, and then you'll win also 3 months subscription to Bookmap Global Plus with data. All right, so pretty nice offering there, and then furthermore, there may be opportunities to do more with Bookmap as well. And part of the development team, working with the development team and developing, working closer with the Bookmap team. All right. So anyway, to sign up for that, let me put this into the chat for you guys so that you can sign up here anytime. The details are in here. you know, it's from the 1st of November here, and it will end on the 24th. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of time in here actually, and you need to start developing content to win the game here. All right, so I'll put the oops, let me put the link in here. Okay. There you go. All right, and let me put this into Discord as well. Good morning, JC. Good morning, Tropical Hydro. So here's that Bookmap blue jacket. So check that out, guys. Really, I really encourage you guys to join in the competition. Okay, it's a really good thing. It should improve your trading, as well as offer these benefits, and then you'll be added to the community as well. Okay, so a lot of nice benefits with it. Okay, let's jump into this S&P and see what's going on in here. That's what we usually look at, and we have stops and icebergs in here as well. Quite a bit of iceberg selling up here, about 2,000. That's a lot here in this S&P. And look at the order flow in here, right? And the market structure. Here's a big drop here. Okay, after 9 o'clock and then 9:30 right here, big drop, a pullback. Okay, with some pretty strong buying in here too, but there's an iceberg on the other side right here. Okay, and they are absorbing. Okay, almost 2,000, and you can see where they're absorbing right in here, and look at the stops on the other side as well. So we have that almost equal here. Like here's 1,200 and here's about 600. So almost equal amount of stops compared to absorption of icebergs. So very interesting dynamic there, since they're almost equal. It kind of begs the question about who's on the other side of the trade, who's trading. Larger players absorbing the selling or the stops here, buying stops in this case, of the people getting stopped out, the retail traders, the smaller traders. All right, so anyway, we'll see though. Like it doesn't, just because there's a larger player on the other side doesn't mean that this can pop and come up into this 38.40. Okay, in fact, let's take the stops and icebergs off the chart for a moment, and we'll just focus on the order flow in here. All right, the aggressors, and this structure in here, which is bullish at the moment. Okay, from this time period onwards. 38.20, above 38.20, that's an important level over the last several weeks. And then look at the buying up here. This is what we want to look at. It actually doesn't look all that great. There's more transactions down here. That doesn't bode too well for this breaking out. Okay? It may, but what it means, and we talked about this yesterday in detail, is that up here, and we talked about weak tops and weak bottoms. Is this a weak top? No, it's not. You know, there's just not a whole lot of buying up here. Now, we may come up here, we may find buyers, but the probabilities are not the same as when we really can see a weak top. Okay, so here they're coming in here, and they're buying, okay, and they're starting to lift the offer, but hasn't really broken out yet, right? Okay, so, and we see sellers on the other side here at 27 and 30. Now it might break out. We don't know. Just saying though, like in the order flow reading in here, yeah, I would point to probably it breaking out up into 27 and 30. Do I think it's high probability as in terms of like a bigger move and for it to unfold? No, I do not. Okay. It does not look like it in the order flow. Okay, so now this is how you can benefit from reading order flow here in Bookmap. This is not telling us that it wants to break out as strongly as other times when we covered the weak tops and bottoms. Okay, so let me even show you where that webinar is here. If you scroll down a little bit, you go to our YouTube channel. scroll down a little bit, it's right here, last Friday. Okay, so trading weak tops and weak bottoms. Right, some good stuff in there. There's setups in there, right? And now here we are back again. Look at these buyers continue to come back. So likely, yeah, we're looking for it to break here. Okay, but we just don't think much of it right now. Okay, they continue to come back up here, and we got a little bit of a breakout, and look at sellers come right in immediately. Okay, so we don't know that either. We're just looking at everything. Let me just make a point here. We're looking at everything from here. Okay, from the top here around this 27 level here. Okay, and for a weak top, we're looking for really big green dots up here, and we don't see that. Okay, so is that likely to break out? Well, they continue to trade up here, and they a little bit more here, a little bit more here. It's getting better. Okay, and it did break out by a couple ticks or so. That's it though. Okay, so this is how we can filter out and say, like, well, you know, we're not looking for a high probability trade here. Then likely, yeah, I would say probably, you know, 27, 28, 30 is the likely move here as it is right now, but nothing to put your money on. All right, now we got to go through the opposite scenario, and this could be all trapped volume up here, and we could be looking at another trading range right in here. Now let's go through this scenario. In this trading range here, okay, what if we get big red dots now down here, okay, around 22.5? Okay, well then likely I'm looking for this to fail outside of this area here and trade down into a new zone, probably down here. All right, so we'd be looking for that scenario. Okay, it would be big red dots in here pulling it down. All right, now I don't see that scenario playing out either right now. In fact, we're right back up here and we're finding buyers again. So likely looking again here for 28 to 30. Okay, there's our 27.5. There's 28. Okay, and there's 29. Not quite 20, not quite 30 yet. Okay, 29.5 there. All right, so they did not tangle with these sellers up here. Right, again, we're just reading this structure and the transactions and the limit buy and sell orders within the structure here. All right, that's it. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Okay, and because of the selling or the buying up here, yeah, it has a you know, we lean toward this side here. It just doesn't look great. All right, so now this kind of analysis in here is very similar to and let me see if there's any questions at the moment. Good morning, Tony, Classic Man, Adrian. The Algo Boys, there's no videos there, Adrian. It's only within our Discord. Right, so you have to go over there. All right, so now what are we seeing right now? Well, still not much. It's kind of the same thing we're just looking at. Let's see if we can get maybe a bit more buying in here and tangle with this 30 liquidity up here. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, maybe 31. There's a skew at 28.5. We're still finding buyers, so still looking for 30, 31 here. Okay, finding a bit of selling. They took these guys on here at 28.5. And there's our move, guys. There's our move. 31 actually went up to 32 here, 33 I should say. Yeah, 33 transacted, and there we go. All right, nice stop run there as well. Anyway, guys, does this make sense, the way that we were reading this in here? Okay, and just looking for this kind of 28 to 30, maybe 31. It went up higher, and it's a nice stop run here as well. Yeah. Okay, Bill, you're gone. Can't have you in here. You're spamming us, so goodbye. All right, still going a bit higher here. Okay, now still I'm a little weary on it, you know, or leery, I guess, like that. I mean, you know, still looking for, you know, the trend continuation, maybe 37, maybe 40 up here. We're still finding buyers in here, but this was also a big stop run here, this move. So being kind of careful here. And the reason being is that we know this is a stop run. We know it's pretty big one, and there's hundreds in there. And what matters after a stop run, though, is the context after the stop run. The stop run doesn't mean anything. Just because it's a stop run doesn't mean it's going to turn around and go the other way. Does it accept? Does it reject? Whatever. If it accepts above and we still find buyers, we're going higher. As simple as that. In fact, what we want to look at in terms of a stop run, and I would suggest to or recommend to come in on Thursday for this webinar, and Scott Pulcini will be trading, and he'll go through how he reads and puts together the pieces here for stop runs and icebergs. But you know, he has different setups based on stops and icebergs. All right, so this is one of them. I forget what it's called, but this is a continuation pattern. But what we know here is a lot of people got stopped out. Price went higher, still found more buyers here in a little stop run here, and you know, still going higher here. All right. That would be the primary scenario here. Okay, Don, welcome. You're new. Yeah, we can take a look at ZB. Not much of a mover, but we can take a quick look here. We'll wait for some data to load here. All right, there we go. Okay, so bonds are going up too. And look at the bid here underneath. Pretty strong. Pretty strong, right underneath here. So yeah, I'd be looking, and we're still finding buyers, so look for them to trade up to the 19 and 26 here. All right, see them starting to pull in here, still finding buyers here. They're on the bid here. Yeah, find a few more buyers in here. We should be able to pop a little bit higher here. Okay, so that's what I see in the bonds right now. Yeah, it does move like a snail, but it's $30 a tick. So And look at the size in here too. You can get some big size on, that's for sure. So those are huge benefits for larger players. You want to really make money, well, that's a great area. All right, guys, we're coming up to 40 here. Again, this was the primary move here that we're looking for. We were not convinced at all, though, by this order flow in here. It started to look a little bit better in here. And then we came up, and we're still looking for the move up into 30, maybe 31, and we got it. Okay, well, we can see the continuation here as well. All right, so now what I want to do in here is today I want to go through the order flow on these low time frames, high time frames, but mostly lower time frames. When we've done this for years, and the reason being is it is in line with our educational course that we talk about what moves the market and understanding order flow or understanding market movements in general. Bookmap does an excellent job of displaying that, and this is essential to understand. A lot of veteran traders that I come across, I'm always surprised to find out they don't know some of these details about what moves the market, and understanding some of the microstructure. You don't have to know microstructure, but to understand that it is the aggressor here, that the market buy order that took liquidity off of the best offer and took more here, they're able to trade it one tick higher here. Okay, so this is what moves the market. Now there's a relationship between the aggressors here, the market buy and market sell orders. Green dots are market buy, red dots are market sell, and the relationship between the liquidity on the other side. Okay, so right now here in this current little move in here, you see 47 contracts here, then 55, then 70. Up here there's 210. See how it relates to the heat map. Okay, so the heat map scale, red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least amount. So that relationship, that context between aggressors, market buy and sell versus limit buy and sell, the passive. Okay, and understand that context here. Look how we trade into that 30 and through it. There's just more buying pressure in here, right? So we tear right through it and continue on to the upside here, and it's a stop run as well. Okay, so and look where we traded into. Okay, we traded into, we were looking for just 31. Well, there was enough buying pressure to reach 2 points higher to 33. Okay, that's what happened. And why did it stop here? Well, because it hit this liquidity wall right here at 33. There's 132 contracts there, and 115 of them traded precisely. And there's 17 still in the order book at this point. Okay, and then look here, no transactions, no transactions. In fact, they're transacting much further lower here. And now we get a little bit more, but not at 33. All right, and that's it. Okay, and then we got a drop. Okay, so understanding this context is exactly what I'm talking about. Right now, we can look at this context though, and we go through these examples all day long, and that's what our goal is to match up and understand this smaller time frame, but then to extrapolate that to the much higher time frame. So let's just jump back here for a second and let's look at candlestick charts. Okay, so I have a daily on the left, an hourly in the middle, and a 15-minute here on the right. And we can look at the same exact stuff, okay, in a candlestick though, okay, in a bar form, and start to understand ranges and breakouts. So we know that there's wicks up here, so probably a lack of buyers or trap buyers. That's what we don't know, is where the volume's trading on the candlestick. You just don't, candlesticks don't offer that kind of transparency. Okay, your market delta chart may, but it's not going to show you liquidity. You're not going to be able to see that there was a lot of limit sell orders up here. Okay, if there were, maybe there were none, but Bookmap is going to show you all of that. So you're not going to get that level of transparency. And then you can see we just chopped around in here, and this was yesterday's action. End of the day here, it broke out yesterday. Okay, pretty strong breakout to higher areas in here, so we can look at this in here as no different. This range in here, all this back and forth of several hours, is no different than looking at exactly the same thing here. Okay, it's a range. There's just order flow within that range. Here we can see that it is likely something similar like yesterday, that you see a buildup here of buyers, and then it broke. Okay, now we weren't too convinced about this buildup in here. It started to look better in here once we start to see a little more volume here and here, and then we saw them come back up, and we're looking for the breakout. Okay, 28 and then 30, 31, and they tore higher, quite a bit higher, almost to 40 so far. Right, so and again, this is relatable here, okay, to this right here from yesterday's action, and this repeats again and again. Right, so now if that's the case, and it is, it's all order flow. Even on the daily chart over here, it is exactly the same thing. Even if it's a monthly chart, it's the same. You're going to be looking at ranges and breakouts and volume trading within these periods here. In this case, it's a daily period. It could be a volume period, it doesn't matter. It's aggregated data within that period. And we can read now some of the ranges and also pressures in here. Like this looks pretty good right now on the daily chart. That we'd go a little bit higher here, maybe up to 3861, maybe even a little higher, maybe up to 3900. Okay, up here in the wick from this daily candle over here. Now what about the hourly? All right, well, let's take a look. We're up here already, and this is kind of where it dropped from in a little range here, so we might get a little bit of a pause right now, and maybe some back and forth. If we don't, and we see more buyers coming in, strong buying, well, I would say the next level might be up here around 76, or the figure 3900. Okay, so let's see, our 76 was over here. That makes some sense. You can't really see it too well on the daily. What about the 15-minute? Okay, well, we see the strong move here. We start to see a wick now also on the 15-minute. So we might get a pullback back to 30 here. Okay, we were just looking at that breakout. All right, so now what we're doing is looking at zones, okay, levels, and this can be very, very helpful for us in understanding where price might, or we want to look for order flow around those levels now. Okay, this is always how it is. All our educators, we have Tom B in the afternoon. He'll be going through volume profile, and he's going to be looking at his levels, okay, in volume profiles. All right, so let's draw up something in here. Let's draw up a horizontal line at I don't know, 38.76, right? Okay. All right. So yeah, that doesn't look bad. And we can draw another one right here. Horizontal line at what, 38, let's just say 38.30. All right, and then we just broke out of that, and then also this one down here at 3800. 3800 also looks really good. All right, so now we have a little bit more kind of guidance in here, and you know, we can look at smaller time frames and start to put it together. So let's actually do that now in Bookmap. Okay, we'll come in here and we'll start to look at previous action and where price might go, and we'll draw up some lines. Okay, so well, we like 40 and also 50 up here because we already know there's high liquidity there. We don't really need to draw a line there. We'll do it anyway. Let's just do it here and here. All right, yeah, pretty good. What about other levels in here? Well, let's draw this one in here. Okay, see where it broke out right here, and it also retested already back to it. Okay, I'm actually I'll put the line, I think maybe here. I like that a little bit better here because that's where it retested here, and that's the high over here. Now this is kind of a false breakout here. Okay, so there's that, and then we can look at our this kind of 28 level where we just broke out of. Okay, and then obviously we have our 50 level up here. All right, so now let's just take a look at this time frame. Well, I'd still be looking for 40. Okay, 40 and above, but we're just looking for 40 right now. That's it. Okay, look at the see how this is strong buying in here. Well, it should continue unless we see really strong selling all of a sudden come into the market. We'd be looking for this to just continue to go higher here. Right, as simple as that. Now that's the view on this time frame. Right, we see the strong move here, a pullback, and we're looking at another strong move. So let's zoom in here and let's see it on a lower time frame what's happening here. Yeah, here's our little pullback here. And was there strong selling on this pullback? No. Okay, very little. Okay, so still looking for buyers, still looking for 40, and then maybe 42 and 43. Okay, they're on the bid here. This is good. They are staying in the book at 40, and there's 300, almost 400 contracts there. So that's going to be a big transaction, and that's going to absorb a lot of this buying pressure too. So we can already start to understand this level up here as absorbing a lot of that selling pressure. There we go. There's our 40. Okay, the transaction took place. Let's zoom in here. Let me show you this transaction here. We're still bullish until we see something different. Now we know that they had to trade 400 in here. There's 500 actually, it looks like, altogether. Okay, so that's just the facts. Okay, we got to 41.50, almost 42. Now we're getting a pullback. See how the sellers come back to this area here? Okay, now let's see if we get if that's maybe enough lower level here for more buyers to come back in, right, and trade back up here. Now we were talking just about this here. This took a lot of the buying pressure away. There's still more buying pressure, but it basically kind of fizzled out here because of all of these orders here on the offer, limit sell orders getting filled. This is the context we're talking about. And here it is right here in Bookmap. This is the beauty of Bookmap. It shows all of this unfolding here. All of these transactions here. And then there's a little bit of a delay here. Okay, now it's not a delay. I should not say that. It's actually not a delay. This is just how the market works. Okay, and this is really important. Yeah, okay, we got another spammer in here today, so sorry about that. And politically motivated as well, so we got to get rid of that guy. Okay, all right, so here's what happened. Okay, the book was swept by a tick here, just one tick. You see the transactions take place. It went one tick higher very, very quickly, transacted right into this 40 level here. And then look where the best bid and offer update here. Okay, the best offer updated first in this case, and then the best bid. And look at, see the liquidity heat map here, change color. Now this change in color and this update here took place at the same time. So what happened was, first these guys transact, the aggressors, then this updates, okay? And that's why you see the heat map at this point go change in color. Okay, and now these transactions take place, and then you can see it actually the same thing. It kind of fades away over time here. Okay, so from red to orange to blue. All right. So but the big delay, or the big transaction took place here. Then the best bid and offer updated. All right. So that's what unfolded there. It's not an anomaly in the data or anything. It's just that's just how the markets work. There's two different data streams. One is the best bid and offer, or the depth, and the other one is the transactions. All right. So and you can see that difference in there when we zoomed in. That's how these markets actually work. Right. So now we noted this little area in here. They absorbed a lot of that buying pressure. Okay, we got a pull back here. We found enough buyers to take it higher back into our 42. Okay, they're still on the bid here. They're still finding buyers. Okay, and what about the offer up here? Well, they're showing a little more interest now. Okay, so maybe we'll come back down to 40 here. It just exhausted out up here. We don't see buyers up here. Okay, but overall, since they're on the bid here and we still find buyers up here, I'm looking for a bit more buying here at 42 or 42 and a quarter, and another move higher. That's what I'd be looking for here in the order flow. And look at that. So we got a flip of the order book here, or not necessarily a flip, but they pulled here and they added here on at 41.50. Okay, so now that's good. That's bullish. Okay, and we just need to find the aggressors here, and we're starting to find a few. Okay, now the aggressors should be able to then pull it higher. Right, so we'd be looking for the next level up here, 45 or 44 right here. That just transacted. Look at them. They're still on the bid here at a higher level. They're still pulling here, looking for 45. Right, so we're just reading this in here. Now this is not a trade recommendation. This is reading the order flow. Okay, and then we'll give insight to where we think it may go based on the order flow. Right, now what happened? Okay, well, the sellers came in and they traded into these guys here. Okay, so sellers, we have found a little bit of selling pressure now. All right, so and this is why we're not making a trade recommendation. We don't know in here if this is gonna pull or transact, but at this point here it's still looking good for 45. Okay, then we found sellers, and then now we have a kind of a new dynamic in here. Okay, now we've come down to the bottom of the range here. They're still on the bid though. Okay, well, if we need to find sellers if they're going to hit into 40. Okay, they're on the bid here around this 40 3/4. If we find enough buyers in here, we should come right back up. And it's unfolding as I'm speaking. So it's happening kind of quickly. Yeah, until we see something different, right? We're still gonna go with the bid holding here and finding buyers. Now that means we have to find buyers here. 42 and a half, starting to find them. Okay, let's see it trade to 44 and 45. Okay, now it's getting a little bit different in here. Okay, it's getting kind of dark in here. They're see how they were on the bid in here? Well, see how they're down here now, right? We're still looking for it to go up here to 44 and 45. It's already 44 is already transacted. Okay, we're still looking for it to go higher here, but we're noting that they're not so. The buyers are not as enamored as they were earlier, so it's kind of dark down here. That means it could lead to volatility. Sellers can come in and whip it down here very quickly into 40 or 39, and then you can come back up and trade 45, right? So the dynamic in the order flows, it's always shifting. Okay, typically it's always shifting. We're still looking for it to trade to 45 though here. Okay, that's the overall picture here still. Okay, on this small time frame. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's look at our higher time frame. Okay, we noted in here, wow, they're still buying. Okay, 40, they're still buying. We're looking for this to go higher. Okay, looking for 50, 47, 50. Okay, this is pretty strong in here. It did not look that strong down here. Once we got in here and we saw it, then we're looking for that move. Okay, 30, 31, and they just kept buying, right? And then we noted it again in here. Okay, so we go with the move here. It's going with the order flow, drawing up our levels. High liquidity at 40, high liquidity at 50. Okay, but we're still finding buyers here. Okay, and they're still on the bid, and the offer has been typically been pulling here. Now look what happened at 45. Okay, they absorbed that so far. 200 contracts up there. Here we go. There's buyers trading into it. Okay, now it's 177, and they're still adding in there too. Now it's back to 200. Still looks like buyers want to take them on. There they go. There's the transaction. Okay, do we still find buyers in here? Not so convincing. Okay, but that transaction took place. Okay, we're still getting a little bit. Yeah, okay, so 47. Still looking for it here. But just note how this is kind of, we started off the webinar, we were talking about this in here. What looked really good was when they're on the bid and underneath here, and they're under here, and they were pulling on the offer, and we're finding our buyers. Okay, they're on the bid, they're pulling. So now, are they still on the bid? A little bit. They're down here though, right? So, you know, we can get some back and forth is what I'm saying. We're still looking for the move up into, you know, 47 3/4 or 50. Okay, we're just not finding it. All the pieces aren't there like they were earlier. Okay, now it's looking much better. Look at that. Okay, at 45, this guy came in. This guy pulled over here. Still finding buyers. Okay, so we're just going with the move here. All right, let me get to some questions in here. I've been yapping for quite a bit. Oh, this is great, Rob. Great to hear. Okay, so you woke up and studied the basic education videos yet again today. And the weak tops and bottoms, great. Did much better reading the order flow today. Yeah, so Rob, you're doing great. You know, I would try to disconnect trading with reading the order flow at the moment, and just do the same thing we're doing in here. Really going through the analysis in real time. Okay, I got this piece. I've got these pieces. I'm looking at my higher time frame, and then because I have these pieces together in this context, then I would be looking for a price to go higher. But if you can disconnect the trading for now, you'll learn much quicker, I feel. At least I did. And you can bring the trading and the trade management back in later. All right, and maybe your previous ways of trading as well, previous education, because once you start to you know, understand this context in here, and you're not trading, you're just reading it and noticing it, you'll find that you're not so rigorous or rigid with your outcome. It's like, oh, okay, well, all this, like right here, all of a sudden sellers came in. You know, we don't know that, right? but if you bought up here, you're like, it doesn't work, or damn it, these guys came in here, or whatever it is, and now it's all emotional, and it's really hard to disassociate from that, or pull yourself away from that. Instead, you'd be reading this and saying, yeah, okay, look at this, buyers, some buying, sellers starting to come in, lots of sellers starting to come in. Okay, now how are those sellers doing? They did break up this swing here, but now we're looking at context again. Okay, well, now we're back up here. Now these guys, watch this, if we can get enough buyers in here, these guys selling in here, it's going to be a nice beautiful stop run up into these levels up here. Okay, now that is if we can get the buyers up here again, right? These guys got it wrong, and we'd be looking for a nice stop run through up into our 50 level, basically. Okay, so again, going through the scenarios in here in the order flow. This is really great to hear, Rob. Yeah, keep it really simple. Our education is very, very blunt and simple. Just understanding like what moves the market. Okay, between these buyers and sellers in here, and then understanding that and that liquidity in here, and then put those pieces together. Okay, so more buyers. Do I see sellers down here? No. Okay, more buyers up here. Okay, here, more up here. All right, so this again goes even to that weak top in here. Now we can see it in the volume profile. It's not really much of a weak top at all. It's pretty even distribution. But if we get a little bit more up here, it will be there's a little bit more. See now it looks like a weak top. Okay, even at just 4 price levels in here. Okay, so you'd be looking for this liquidity to be tested. Okay, and yeah, it had to pull back one more time, and then you got it. That's great. So it's in simulation, but you're narrating. Well, just be careful with the simulation as well. Like you still can get very emotionally attached to even simulation. And you go, well, it must, I saw this and I bought it up here. Like I'm just going to buy every pullback as it goes against you, and all of a sudden even in sim you'll be down, like you'll blow out your account. And that's what you want to avoid. So if you got it wrong, this is why I love what JTrader does, and then like Alan was our whipping boy or poster boy on just looking for the simple move and letting it play out and just taking your profit and looking for the next simple high probability move again. If it does not happen, cut the trade. It should happen due to the order flow. If it doesn't, it wasn't ready. That's a very simple trade management principle. But now you can then start to zoom out and put that onto higher time frames as well. But just start really with kind of simple method here. Like if this is going to break out in here and you're looking for it to break out, that should happen here. You shouldn't get sellers over here, right? You shouldn't get sellers down here. If you do, likely they're going to take it back down into these levels down here. Okay, so and then now you're at a huge loss if you bought up here. So just get out, okay, and accept the loss. Move on to the next. How do I get to the higher time frames? That was just from Rhythmic, the RTrader Pro platform. Okay, that's all. Yeah, it's a separate platform. Okay, and all we're doing in here is just marking up some levels in here. DH, how do you access different time frames? by zooming in and out very quickly. Now there is this time slice tool up here. If you click on that, you can like if I select 60 minutes in here, that's the highest time frame. Okay. What it does though is it from the vertical white line over here to the left of the chart here is exactly 60 minutes of data always. Okay, it doesn't, there's no candlestick in here or bar data. There is no time frame in Bookmap. It is just streaming best bid and offer. All right, so just zoom out with your center mouse wheel very quickly, DH. That's what I do. Okay, and then I know that this vertical dotted line in here kind of it'll change over time. Now it's right now you can see it's 3 hours. If I zoom in though, it's going to change, and now it's 5 minutes. Okay, so it kind of divvies up the chart for me pretty nicely, and that's enough for me to understand what's going on. Okay, I can look at the times over here. Here's 10 o'clock, here's 10:15. It broke out around 10:15, etc. All right, let me get to YouTube in here. Lots of questions, guys. Keep them coming. That's what these webinars are for. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, you can use Rhythmic. Absolutely, Denver, as your data source. Absolutely. We recommend it. We prefer it. Okay, so their data is very high quality, and it offers market by order data, which allows you then to see stops and Iceberg transactions. However, you will need to have the add-on for that. Okay, it's on the Bookmap marketplace. Joe, hit the like button. Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, if you like this, hit the like button. We'll continue to do this kind of education for you. All right, yeah, show us a bit of love, because the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's all free right now, and we want to keep it that way. Okay, but we need the feedback from you guys. Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it. Let's see, scenario for breakout and pullback. Okay, and Shul, we've been going through that. So the breakout, I mean, it's really simple kind of to understand that for there to be a breakout, you know, that whole weak top or weak bottom is very telling. Okay, and yeah, it might show it in the profile, but you don't need to look at a profile in here and look for the perfect setup in a profile. What you need to understand is there selling pressure down here compared to the buying pressure up here, right? And you don't need CVD. You don't need anything. You can just read it here with the naked eye. So are you making higher highs in here? Yeah, actually you are. So, you know, we don't really know. We're looking at structure in here, but we're looking at selling down at the bottom edge compared to the buying at the top edge. Okay, so if we get enough selling down here, okay, and you know, even the profile is not really showing us much, but we see the selling transactions here, right, and in here. Okay, so if we get enough sellers here, no matter what the profile looks like, that doesn't matter. If you get another barrage of selling in here, likely it'll slip back down into the next level of liquidity. Okay, so and let's see, where did it go? Well, right to it. Okay, and we're kind of caught up now to current price. Okay, that's the context I'm talking about. Okay, now was this a weak bottom? Not really. This looks very kind of nicely distributed in here, right? But then how did we see that it was a kind of a weak bottom? By reading the transactions here. All right, so it's very alluring because the profiles, it's so visual. It's like, wow, that's a weak top or that's a weak bottom. Here, let's just zoom in and we can show it probably in here. maybe. Yeah, I mean, like here's your P-shaped profile here on a smaller time frame, right? It looks pretty weak up here that it should break and maybe trade up into 50. Okay, and it didn't, but the profile was there on that very small time frame. All right, let's zoom out. Let's look at a higher time frame right now. Higher time frame's not telling us much in terms of profile. All right, so anyway, let's zoom back in here. So we were looking for that move. Where you can read that move, and you saw the transactions in here. Now, one thing you could also look for in here is there's a few different things in reading the order flow here. Okay, one is we can look at the price structure. We talked about that a little bit. Okay, so it made a higher high in here, made a slightly lower low in here, but where they're selling down here, that's really kind of the key. And then in here there's more selling, more selling, more selling. Where's the buyers? The buyers are here. Did they make an equal high? No. Was there enough buying pressure in here to come up and make an equal high or even break out? No. There were sellers here. So that's what we look for, again, selling in here and then the break. Okay, then the breakout. All right, we got another spammer in here for the election. So you don't have the heat map? Well, if you don't have the heat map, you're only getting kind of part of the picture. You don't understand that context. You don't understand that it might trade here, right here, because that's where there's buyers, right here, right? And that's the beauty of Bookmap. It's showing you that. You know, you might want to give it a try for a month. See what you think. You know, I mean, that's giving you, that's the edge, right? That's the edge right there. So, you know, look, God, we just had the New York City Marathon here. I don't know. I know a little bit about running. I have a lot of friends that run the marathon. Well, from what I understand, Nike came out with some shoes that offer an advantage for marathon runners. Well, I noticed all the runners going by on Sunday, at least half, maybe more, had this one model of Nike. Why? Because it offered them an edge, right? So, you know, if you want that edge, then you're going to have to get those Nike shoes, right? So, if you want that edge in here in Bookmap, well, you're going to have to try Bookmap. There's nothing more I can do. I'm not trying to sell the product to you. I'm just trying to say, like, you know, how are you not going to, if you don't have it, how are you going to see it, you know? For the Indian markets. Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The data does not support the depth at this time. Yeah, so there's other ways around it, using the sweeps and absorption. That can be helpful. Anshul can be very helpful. It kind of mimics them, okay, via the aggressor. Let me demo that for you. Let's just get another read in here right now. Looking at the sellers coming down here now, I'm not so sure about this one right now. Okay, if we get a lot of selling, yeah, I think we can trade 42, 41, and 40. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to unfold 42, 41, 40. But like, here's why. Look at this liquidity, or these transactions here, and then we found some buyers up here. They broke that area. Okay, and I was not seeing heavy selling down here. I was seeing some, but I was not seeing heavy selling. If I saw heavy selling like this or like this or this, yes, it would look better that it would trade into 42, 41, and 40. All right. So and plus we have this buying up here, so it might be, we might find buyers come in here and try to come right back to 40 minimum, come right back to about 44.5 or 45 here. Okay, because of the structure in here and the transactions and order flow within that structure. Now let's see what happens here. And so I'll get to your questions. I'll show the sweeps and absorption. That's the way to go here. Okay, and how it kind of mimics that. All right, look at this. There's a battle going on here between the buyers and sellers. See, they're on the bid here, they're on the offer here, and then look at the transactions in here. Okay, now who's going to win this battle is really it's either going to come up to 45 or above, or it's going to break down into a 40 and maybe lower here. Okay, so we got our buyers coming in. Okay, so I'd be, yeah, you know, I mean, I'd love to see the bid light up here, but I'd still look for the movement maybe to about 45 here, just a retest here. Okay, just a range bound back up into about 44.5, 45. All right, so here let me clear all these drawings here, I think. And then let me go over sweeps and absorption, and I'll actually dim the heat map for you, Ansul. All right, and we will then add the sweeps and absorption indicators here, and what exactly they do and why it kind of mimics the order book in essence. Okay, so let's take a look here. It's still loading here, and I'll leave that up. Okay, all right. Okay, so now this is the absorption indicator, right? This is a very, very simple indicator. Within 0.01 seconds, now it's going to be different for, you know, you're going to have to use a setting of like, I don't know, 2 or 5 seconds on Soul for the Nifty or Bank Nifty or Reliance or Tata Motors, whatever you're looking at, all right? Here, you'll use 5 seconds or whatever, but here with Rhythmic, it's very high quality data in here, you know, we can look at nanosecond levels in here. So we put in 0.01, and then if it's a condition here, if within 0.01 seconds the traded volume was greater or equal to 100, mark the chart. As simple as that, and tell us. All right, so these are where that condition was true on the offer and on the bid here. Okay, the green and the pink. All right, so what does that mean in essence? So what we were talking about, what, our 43 level here, right? Yeah, right here. Okay, well, this is some absorption here. There's 135 here. So we're assuming there's going to be some liquidity. If there's not liquidity here, then we would assume that there's icebergs, or maybe both, okay, absorbing here. All right, so and this is the way to use it here. So now if we zoom in, we can see that. Okay, here's where that condition was true. Okay, so very, very quick, what it means is very, very quickly a large amount traded at one price level, so it must be absorbed. Okay, and that's at least the concept here using the absorption. Now let's add on the heat map here, and let's verify it. All right, so it looks pretty good. So we know that there was high liquidity here at 43. Up here, high liquidity also here. You can see it in the kind of bluish area here. Okay, or look at the pink area here, matches with the heat map here. Okay, so up here there's liquidity up here, but we don't get the transactions, so you don't really know here. All right, so if the transactions, there are some transactions, but they did not take place very, very quickly, and they did not meet our 100 threshold. right? So just not enough trading here to show the absorption indicator up there. Anyway, does that make sense, Ansul? You can start to read this as kind of a proxy, okay, of high liquidity or absorption in here. I think it's a great indicator, and this will work on any market. Does not matter. Okay, now look at their absorbing on the bid. This looks good then, right? This is giving us insight that, wow, okay, and we're finding aggressive buyers. Well, and they're on the bid as well. Well, then we should be able to get enough buyers up here at 44 to break out and trade up into 47. Okay, just based off of this absorption indicator, and they're on the bid underneath here, and we see the aggressors come in, so we'd be looking for this to go higher. All right, makes sense. Okay, we had a nice little reading in there actually, and I usually don't show this indicator very often, just because maybe it gets kind of complex for some people. But they're on the bid here though, on the bid absorbing. Here it is. If we zoom in, look at this, on the bid here. Okay, absorb 200. Okay, and we know that there's aggressive buyers in here too. We see that in here, right? Here the green dots pulling that market up. Here they are again on the bid getting filled, right? And there's still more buyers in here. Great, we're looking for it to go higher. All right, so that was a nice little insight here, that we couldn't see in the heat map necessarily, because it's there in the heat map. It's there, don't get me wrong. You can see it here, but you have to zoom in to see it. Okay, so because it was very, very quick, right? Even high liquidity in here, but they never traded here, so we never got any absorption. Okay, and here we go. Okay, here they are again, like on the bid still. Now it's getting a little dicier in here. Yeah, now we're finding a bit of selling in here. Okay, so maybe a little bit of back and forth right now. Yeah, we'll go over the sweeps indicator as well. All right, now so the absorption indicator is kind of mimicking the heat map. It's also mimicking potentially the icebergs, because let's suppose you didn't see any reading in the heat map, and yet you see the guys, this is exactly what we're looking for in here, and it was due to this action in here, right here. Okay, looking for that move up into like 45. It's I think we'll probably get the move into 50 now, to be honest. Okay, it wants to trade up into 50, and it has to pull back, get everyone kind of stopped out in here, and then you see these strong moves just like this, trade right up into 50. Okay, we're just about there. Okay, so yeah, beautiful move, and you can look for these strong moves in here. You can look for a flag pattern in here, looking for the buyers again to break out, maybe take some off at 47, but you're still looking for that 50, and we're still looking for it. Okay, 50 and maybe a bit through it here up into 52. All right, so anyway, yeah, and this can also mimic, like I said, or kind of show where there might be potential iceberg orders as well. Makes sense, right? Because if someone's absorbing but we don't see it in the heat map here, it's still being absorbed, and so likely that would be an iceberg. Okay, there's 50, guys. Floyd, you're looking for a 53. That 53 is you. Okay, there you are, Floyd. Let's see how much you trading, Floyd. You got 120 or 127 lots up there, 130 up here. All right, Floyd, if anyone wants to trade with Floyd, he's up there. You got a one lot. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Adam, that's you up there. All right. So yeah. So Adam's got at least 126 up there. Floyd's got one. All right, guys. Well, anyway, again, going through the context in here and understanding, these price movements. And we've been talking about structure. We've been talking about the context in here between buyers and sellers, going through the whole gamut. So we went through the absorption indicator. Let's go through the sweeps. Okay, now it's really kind of fascinating. It actually was one indicator altogether. I'm going to deselect the absorption. I'm going to select the sweeps, and let's go over the conditions in here for the sweeps. Adam's a player in the game. All right, Adam. Well, you guys want to trade with Adam? He's up there. And willing to provide you guys 126 slots. So go for it. Sweep the order book. All right, let's take a look at the sweeps in here. Now the sweeps indicator is exactly the same indicator. In fact, we had it within the absorption and sweeps were together. And then we had a lot of traders really like the sweeps part of it. So they really wanted it pulled out and to have it separate into separate indicators. So we did that. It is exactly the same though. Within 0.01 seconds, the traded volume was greater than or equal to, okay, and then we put in a number here, and if it's greater than that, then mark the chart. Okay, as simple as that. There's one big difference though between this and the absorption. All of this is the same. The addition of a minimum number of price levels is the big difference. Okay, so and that's it. So we have to look for 0.01 seconds that 10 traded over 3 price levels. If that condition is true, mark up the chart. All right, so here we just had 448 sweep the order book right here on the way up to 50. Okay, now this can mimic a stop run. Okay, this is an order book sweep. This is classic in here. Okay, it doesn't. This is a really good example. See, look at how order book was completely swept here. Okay, each price level it took place over more than 3. Okay, within 0.01 seconds and a minimum of 10 traded. Well, we went way above that. It was 448. Okay, was totally swept, and it swept one full point. 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks here from from 49 on up to, I'm sorry, 3 ticks up to 49 and 3/4 here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 swept. And then best bid and offer update, right? Okay, well, stops updated that at that point too. So we have a stop run here. So now we can look at this in here and really start to understand what's going on in these markets. Okay, so we know that this is an order book sweep. Okay, that's clear as day. You don't need the sweep indicator to tell you that. However, we know that this is an aggressor here. Now, we don't know how many are stops though. So let's turn on actually and let's do a study between the stops and the sweeps in here. Okay, now we're going to show all stops in here and it will populate in just a minute. And then we can compare, and we can also compare in here. Here, look, 495 are stops. Okay. So, and now where did that stop run begin? Hold on a minute here. Okay, so the stop run began here. okay, right here at 49. Something triggered here. It was these transactions down here, and then stops were triggered, okay, at 49. So something triggered in here. This transaction triggered the stops. Now this could be a buy stop, doesn't matter. And we have 448 that transacted here in the sweep. Okay, and then now this is where we see, this is why it's 448 and this is 495, is because that time frame in here is it's only that 0.01 seconds. Okay, this was still a stop in here, and that's why it went up to 95. Right, if we can make them equal in here. If I put this at oh god, I don't know, let's put in a whole second or something. All right, and just calculating it here. So 495, and we know that these are stops. Okay, now you can add all of these together as well. Let's just zoom in and put this in. Okay, so here now we have the calculation. So let's take a look here. Yeah, 495, or looks like 496, and then 495. So one was the one that triggered it, right? Yeah, so that makes sense. So actually it's this one here that triggered it, that triggered the stop run. Okay, so 496, this is beautiful. It's a great example, guys. 496 was the sweep, order book sweep, but the stop run was 495. Okay, so that's what unfolded here. And because these are equal now, because I boosted up the time frame here, so it's not 0.01 seconds, it's 0.88 seconds. All right, so that's why. Anyway, we can zoom in here though and look at these buy transactions. We can add all of these up. Let's just do that. And well, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be 496, right? So let's just verify it. All right, so 141 plus 144 plus 85 plus 126, 496. There you go. Beautiful. All buying here, all buying. All right, so long story short, to answer Anshul's question in here, this is how it can mimic a stop run. All right, so you cannot get the MBO data from for India market right now, but you can use your sweeps indicator to kind of mimic that behavior as well. All right, so understanding sweeps above or below an area by this very simple indicator of showing within a very small time frame the amount that transacted. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back down to 0.01, and there we go. All right. And so does that answer your question? Okay, and this is how you can use it to your advantage. Okay, again, you're going to have to use a higher time frame even for your sweeps indicator, okay, for the Indian market. Right, but when you do that, you'll be able to utilize this to your edge. Okay. Yep, great. Enjoy it. You know, you'll see a lot coming from that. You'll get very big numbers for stops and or sweeps and absorption as well, but that's okay. It's because it's aggregated. Yeah, play around with the auto mode, but you'll see it's the same stuff. Even though the data is aggregated every couple of seconds, so you'll still see it though. All right, so let me I didn't hit apply, that's why. All right, So anyway, I'm gonna turn them off for now, and I'm gonna turn off our stops and icebergs as well. We have 1,000 lot right in there right now, guys, still transacting. Okay, let's just watch that. Okay, so there's someone up here absorbing. Now it's you know, they're hitting it right now. It's hitting right into it and trading it. Okay, so they're still in here absorbing. Look at that. Okay, here's a whole evolution of that iceberg. Now it just canceled here. See the C? Canceled. So we don't know how deep that iceberg went, but we do know that they got on the size they wanted and didn't want to trade any longer, and they canceled the iceberg. This is where the iceberg started, right here. These are all the transactions that you see with the T, and then you saw that it was canceled here at the last minute. Okay, and then price went up immediately. All right, so anyway, this is, in my mind, I'm just amazed what Bookmap can show here. I mean, a level of transparency. I don't know of any other platform that shows this kind of transparency of really truly what's going on in these markets. Now, that's great. How do you read it? And that's what we're here for. Okay, and we're doing that. We're putting these pieces together. We read this move up into 50, and then we thought about 51, 52, and then Adam was up at 53. So someone traded with Adam up at 53. Adam and Floyd. All right. So yeah, they covered, or maybe reversed, or maybe you know, initiated a trade short. But anyway, that was their transactions. Yeah, the auto mode's excellent. Auto mode is very simple. Maybe I can show that, guys, just since we went through this in detail with the sweeps. And let's take off the stops and icebergs. Okay, so now the way the auto mode works here for sweeps is it's the same actually for stops and icebergs. When you check, see how I can put in 10 here, or I can put in whatever, I can input whatever I wanted, like 495 or 494. That one will show up, right? Where we were earlier. And where is it? Should show up. Maybe we have to go back to 88 here, 0.8. Yeah, that'll probably be more like it. And then it will show up. Anyway, the way that it works here with the automatic mode, there it is, or there's a lot here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so right in there, right, there's our 496 right there. Okay, so the way that this works in auto mode, so you know, I inputted this number here. All right, if I go a couple more, that will not show any longer. Okay, and hit apply. And it's not allowing me to hit apply. Okay, so anyway, yeah, then it'll filter this out. Right, so and if that's the case, then or I'm sorry, what I want to say is, like, if you filter this out, okay, they're not going to show up on the chart any longer. All right, so you'll be able to filter them out manually, however you like. So the I don't know why it's not allowing me to. It should. All right, we'll just do that. All right, so now those won't show up any longer. Okay, those ones we were just looking at, because we filtered them out manually. All right, well, there's another way to do this automatically. Okay, if I hit automatic mode here, now look what it shows up here. It's grayed out, and I can hit these buttons, but nothing happens. But it shows 774 over 3 price levels in this time frame of 0.81. Okay, so those 495, they will not show up either. Okay, because they're filtered out. The automatic mode is showing here, and it's grayed out. What it is showing here is, or the calculation is, the interval of 30 minutes and a multiplier. SD is standard deviation. So it's basically a moving average, or an exponential average in here, but based on a standard deviation. So the calculation is over 30 minutes. So this is great. So it's always going to be changing here. Okay, this gray number is going to be changing over time, so that when there's volatility, you'll still get a good reading in here. That can help you. See how it went up to 775 right now. Okay, now if you want to see more or less, very simply, then just change your multiplier. Okay, and now look, 515. Okay, and those 715 show up here now. Okay, so that's how you can filter using this automatic mode, and your multiplier is just making the standard deviation much higher. Okay, and now look what it does. Okay, 1146. Okay, so you're not going to get too many with that filter there. Okay, there's a few in here. Okay, but look again at some of these areas in here. Well, that was a breakout here. Now we're seeing up here, wow, it swept it to the downside here by a lot. That's a lot of selling. Okay, so that's interesting, right? That's giving us some insight right here. All of that selling, okay, using that automatic mode here. All right, now again, this is a way that, like, Scott uses this, which I like very much. He's looking at this in here as the event. This is your event. Okay, something happened in here. There was a lot of selling in here. Now it also happens to be an iceberg and a stop run here. So this is kind of an important area up here around 57. All right, now what we're looking for around this event is the order flow. This is like any other, guys, if you go over to the Algo Boys room, or if you go over to Tom B's room, that will be starting here shortly in his webinar, or on our Discord channel, the Algo Boys, or whatever it is, it's always order flow around levels. So if we look here at this, suppose this is our level, we'll just mark it up with 2 lines. Now we're looking for the order flow around this level here, these two, this kind of zone of 55 to 57. Okay, and what's going on there? Well, we're starting to see buyers above it, but I'm not too convinced by them right now. Okay, they're on the bid here at 56.5. We're not really, and they're pulling here now. That's good. This is looking good. All right, so let's see if we get enough buyers in here. Let's see. Now, I don't like it. It's making me kind of leery yet again. I don't like seeing these guys pop in here. Looks like maybe they're starting to trap some of the buyers here on the small breakout, and then they'll pull the liquidity. We'll get sellers here around maybe 56, and then they'll whip it down into 55 and 53, maybe 50. Okay, so we're on the lookout for that, this being a false breakout here. Okay, and here they are. They're pulling here. We're starting to get some selling here. It's not enough. Not enough. That's not very convincing selling. Look at compared to over here. Okay, so maybe it's just going to kind of go back and forth here. All right, now if we come back down again and we see that selling at 56, and we see maybe they lower the offer and they're pulling on the bid, then we're looking for it. Okay, so see how we stay away from that one. Okay, and it was looking really good here on the buy side, but we just didn't, you know, we're being careful with that. And then here they are on the buy side. Okay, nice. Look at that. Another sweep and also Iceberg exchange in there. They're on the bid. There's liquidity on the bid is what I mean, Jay. Okay, the bid is being built out. Like they want to be buyers at a higher level here on the bid. This is what I mean. Okay, does that make sense? Orders in the order book. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Now that's where we want to look at that context between orders in the order book here compared to the aggressors. That's our context in here. And this is playing out beautifully right now. You know, kind of a quick hard read, but I mean, this is the same thing we were just covering, or this whole webinar was they're pulling here. We found our buyers. They're adding here on the bid at 57, limit buy orders here, and a little bit higher here and higher here. Okay, they trade into here. And we don't know if they're gonna, you know, these sellers at 60, they got what they wanted on the offer. They got filled here. The question is there still more buying pressure? And there is. So still looking for higher here. All right, same process. And again, this process is on all time frames. Okay. The one thing that it gets kind of tricky is I mean, it flips and changes. It's dynamic. Okay, so this is why, like, you know, just look for something that really looks clean and clear, and that leads to something higher probability. Okay, instead of like just kind of guessing at it here. I mean, look, the bid looks okay in here. We're finding our aggressors okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. Looking for 65 here. You know, it's not bad. It's not a trade recommendation, but that's the order flow read right now. Okay. Okay, now they're starting to pull, and they're here now at 63. So, you know, we might get a little bit of a shift and a change and back and forth in here. But yeah, they're still here, right? Still kind of bluish in here, and they're also down here at 60 and 59. Okay, this guy is kind of being stubborn here at 63. All right, guys. So let's just do a recap here. We went through the sweeps and absorption in detail, and how that can kind of mimic some of the order book, historical order book, and start to understand those levels. And then the sweeps and how that kind of relates to stops. The absorption can also relate not only to the heat map, but also icebergs being absorbed. And yeah, we talked about market structure. We talked about the context here with the liquidity, different setups as well. We talked about the weak tops. We started off the webinar talking about this move to the upside here, and we did not like it. Okay, in here, this was not very convincing in here. This is good. Then all of this buying in here is just not enough. They're buying down here. It started to shift and change a little bit better, okay, a lot better, okay. And then here is, yeah, I mean, we were looking at it in here. We were talking about 28 as being one, and then 30 and 31 is the next, right? And then that kicked off a really big move later, okay, and it swept the order book here, and then up in these areas up in here, we're still just looking. There's no reason for it to think any differently, for it to trade higher, okay, up into 40 and 50. And then we got it, and then we were just talking about it right now, as it still looks pretty good up here. Okay. Yeah, so let's see, where do we leave off? They're on the bid, they're pulling here, and then this guy at 63 was being a little stubborn. Let's see if he traded. Yeah, looks like he transacted here. Okay, so yeah, still looking for, basically still looking for 65, 66. All right, guys. Well, anyway, yeah, this process in here, same process, reading the order flow on all time frames. Okay, we can look at our 15-minute on the right, our hourly here. Draw up your levels. Look for the strength in here in the moves, the consolidation, the back and forth in here, and then looking for the breakouts or false breakouts, etc. Right, same concepts here. It's just larger time frames and aggregated data in here, but the concepts are exactly the same. Okay, and almost at our 65 level here. All right, guys. Well, yeah, if you can give us a like here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. We'll do more of these. We do them every day. Tomorrow we'll have J Trader. And oh yeah, I wanted to also mention the blue jacket. I talked about it earlier here, where you'll see the you should have gotten an email regarding it. Where is it? Yeah, we also recommend going to, like Rob was talking about this earlier, our beginner course. Okay, well, it's actually advanced webinar course, but you'll find it here on our YouTube channel. Scroll down here, bonus materials. It's the first one here, Bookmap educational course. Click on the full playlist here. What we went through today in reading the basics in the order flow, and Rob kicked it off here, was this here. Part 1 and part 2, basically go through these, understand what we're looking at in Bookmap, and then we go through that exact same process here in the live market. Okay, and we just traded up to 65, as you guys can see. Anyway, yeah, this is what everything is based off of. Here is the course, and then that can be applied to any time frame, any levels, etc. Right, and that's it was really good to hear Rob. That's exactly what he's looking at and going through. Yeah, you're welcome, JC and DH. So start with a course, that blue jacket. Let's go back there again. So hold on. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so a competition or a contest here. Create some content. You get a chance to win the blue jacket here, free subscription for 3 months, and be featured on our Bookmap Insights right here. Okay, so your images and your content will be in here. So mark up your charts, show us something interesting, and then also a possibility to work with Bookmap. Okay, work closer with the team here. You can read about the participation, how to sign up and how to share, and here are the details, and just sign up right here. Okay, so I'll put this into the chat yet again for you guys, and then see if you are interested in that. Joe, that's great. Yeah, great to hear. So you're getting better reading between these webinars here, the advanced webinars, and also with Tom's room, and we have other people in Discord as well, guys. In the afternoon, if you're an options trader, we have Doug, options with Doug. He's got a fantastic strategy, All right, so you might be interested in that. We have the algo boys. They're going to be looking at their proprietary algo levels where they find heavy algo activity, and then they're looking for the order flow around it. Okay, interesting stuff there. All right, so yeah, lots of stuff within our Discord community. Come and check it out. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow with JTrader. Okay, yeah, take care.